Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Build Show. I'm your host over here at the Empower Gaming Studios for a late night build stream, trying to assemble Genesis's build, and I've had nothing but issues with this one before it's even in the build process. Issue number one. Let's list them out and go through them. I'm gonna still do the build tonight, just so we're ready for it, but I'll explain. First issue, power supply. Never showed up. Had to order another one. The other one is still stuck in limbo somewhere. Second issue, this is supposed to be a 2 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD, and that is surely a 1 terabyte M.2. So, not the right drive. And I didn't catch that, unfortunately, myself, until I was checking all the hardware as we were going through to do the build. We were supposed to originally start this build on Monday. That was originally what we planned. And that's also why I didn't build stream on Monday, is because, well, we were missing the power supply. Today, we don't have the right SSD. And I should have caught that then, but my red flag was, hey, we're missing a power supply. Can't do the build. Crap. Order one. Oh, it's not going to get here till Thursday. Well, if I would have caught this as well, I would have been able to also fix that and address that before today. But I didn't catch that. I'm human. So, here we are, trying to do a PC build with a 2 terabyte SSD. And we have a 1 terabyte. So we're going to do the build without the SSD just to get it built. So when the SSD does show up, we'll install it, which is supposed to show up tomorrow morning. And then I can move on with this build. But I probably won't have this ready for pickup until late Sunday night. And that's because of my schedule going into the weekend. So the original plan was to have this all done and ready for pickup tomorrow morning. And that's just not going to be possible because the SSD isn't here. So I apologize, Genesis. I truly apologize about the mix-up on the parts here, getting your build built, and how long it's taken just to get the parts right. But in my defense, this is not my fault, except for the fact that I didn't catch it. I did order a 2 terabyte, and I did order a power supply. They sent me the wrong SSD, and they did not send the power supply, or it's stuck somewhere in limbo, according to Amazon. What's up, Steve? Welcome back to the Build Show, Steven. So, here we are again. More Amazon problems. I guess I have to do, like I said, all of these parts came in at around the same time. So, for all of these builds that we've done over the last week, I would say 90% of them showed up all at the same time, which is a large amount of packages and parts and things. So each box or order, all the parts for the most part were in its own box, packaged together, and they all had a purchase order number assigned to them for each of the orders assigned to the invoice for the customer. So that's how I track which ones go to which. So this was definitely what was supposed to be sent. 5060 Ti, nice graphics card, yes, and it is the 16 gigabyte version as well. That's pretty much all I'll use unless specifically requested by the customer. But so yeah, this 1 terabyte SSD was supposed to be a 2 terabyte, and so we're not going to use it. We're going to build without an SSD tonight, so that when the actual 2 terabyte SSD that's supposed to be in here, we can just slap that in there and move on with Windows install. The downside is the time it's going to take for me to get it across the finish line. It's going to extend it by 2 or 3 days longer when I initially planned to have this ready for Genesis tomorrow. So It just sucks. I hate being in this situation. I feel terrible. So I just want Genesis to know this is not normal, except for this last week. We've had a ton of hardware mix-ups from Amazon. So, like I was saying a couple streams ago, we probably have close to $1,000 wrapped up in returns, sending stuff back to Amazon because they don't just refund you. You have to sit there and wait for them to verify they received the return, and then they verify the product, and then they'll verify the return and send you your money back. And then it takes however long until your financial institute receives the refund and then posts it to your account. So sometimes it could take like 2 weeks. So anyway, we'll add another $129 to that, because that was supposed to be a 2 terabyte SSD. That was I guess actually it was like $139. And I had to order another one. So $139 wrapped up in the 1 terabyte, quote unquote, 2 terabyte SSD, and $130 wrapped up in the new one that I just ordered. It's great. Thanks, Amazon. Thanks. So, the plague continues. Yeah, get the 16 gigabytes. You will be happy for years to come. Yes, this is the Quantum Prime on the website. So if you're familiar with my builds on the website, this is called the Quantum Prime, specifically the NVIDIA 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte build. So this is supposed to be a super easy click order build, because I have these builds built out in my shopping lists, basically to rebuy. So everything I've pretty much purchased before, I could just rebuy, and that's what I do when I have an order. So the order comes through, I rebuy, and then parts come in. I've never had this many issues before where parts are showing up open box, parts don't show up, or parts show up and they're just completely the wrong part. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna have to do a much better job checking the hardware as soon as it comes in, because if it's not the right part, it's just delaying the build day in and day out each day it goes. So I'm sorry, but here we are. We're gonna do the build without the SSD tonight, and then we'll drop the SSD into the build probably Sunday is when I'll be able to do it, and then wrap it up and have it ready to go probably Sunday night. It's crappy, I'm sorry, but that is the situation, is what I call it. So here we go. We'll get started. We have on the table a Ryzen 5 9600X, which got 6 cores, 12 threads, and a maximum boost, I believe, of 5.5 out of the box gigahertz. And then we're going to be dropping that in on a Gigabyte B650M Gaming Plus Wi-Fi motherboard. It's a great micro ATX motherboard. It is going in a micro ATX dual chamber case. I actually don't know the brand of this case. Fire that man. Exactly. Never fear, the best CPU company supporter is here. Welcome back to the Build Show, Roy. Tony, welcome back to the Build Show. It's some idiot. Welcome back to the Build Show. So the B650M Gaming Plus Wi-Fi motherboard, and then we've got 32 gigs of DDR5, which reminds me, I'm going to have to actually bump the prices of my builds up because the prices of DDR5 is going up, and I can no longer get this kit, which was the closest to the original price, at least within a timely manner. So I either have to buy in bulk, like $4,000 worth of RAM, and then have it show up next month, or my prices go up. So prices are probably going to go up to reflect on the new DDR5 prices on the market right now. So whoever bought a PC within the last week or since today, starting today. Prices are going up on the builds. You're lucky you got in. You got grandfathered into the price. Next is a AM5 secure contact frame. So we've got that going over the CPU, and then we've got a Frozen Note 240mm AIO in white for the CPU cooler, and the graphics card is a 5060 Ti, 16 gigabyte. This is by PNY OC. We're going to be powering the entire system with a GN650 by Segitep, which is a 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply. And then we do have reversed blades, reversed fans here for the case fans. We have 4 of those in white, and then we have, I believe, white extension cables to add some white flavor to the build on top of what we have already. So that is the build. I'm patting myself on the back. Shoulda for ordering like 10 of those kits last week. Yeah, that was a good move. Good move. You could flip those for a profit. But let's get started with this build, shall we? It's already 11:30 over here. We got started late because we were finishing up Sam's build from yesterday. So it's I didn't get that one finished up until almost 10:30, and they actually came and picked it up tonight as well before I got to this build. So this didn't unfold. The SSD problem didn't unfold until just a few minutes ago, and then I'm like, oh man, I'm just smashing my head. Smashing my head on a keyboard is what I feel like doing. Found him. Hold on, guys. Let me get rid of him. Sorry, had to get rid of that. I hate, so when it gets cold here in Michigan, weird bugs like to find their way in the house, and then you're like, ugh. It was a centipede, and I hate centipedes. It's not that I hate the centipede himself, it's that I hate the smell when you step on them. They smell so badly. And then I just saw him crawling across the floor in the open, and I had to get rid of him. Sorry. If I don't get rid of him, somebody will step on him, and it will stink. But they like to crawl underneath the doors or the windows and get in. I don't even know how they get in here, honestly. I have no idea, but they get in. It's crazy. Centipedes. Centipedes are the good bugs. They eliminate other bugs. Yes, but when it gets cold here in Michigan, they come inside, people step on them, and then they stink. And then sometimes it's even great. Sometimes the dog will think the centipede is something delicious on the floor and eat it, and then the dog's breath will smell like a dead centipede, which is absolutely horrid. The worst. Odra, welcome back to the Build Show. That team group RAM I posted in the channel is up to $250 now. This madness has to stop. I did post on the Twitter. I wrote a note to DDR5 in general, and I asked them to please stop. That was my note sent to all of DDR5. But, I mean, it's more than doubled in price now at this point, so how did they respond? I haven't gotten a response yet. Have not received a response yet, so I'll let you know. But if you follow me on Twitter, you'd see it. Okay. So, we're doing the build without an SSD, just a reminder. I want to at least get this assembled, and then... oh, I found gold. And, I had found this. This was actually sent back to me because I did a replacement. So this needs to go back to G.Skill. So it's like finding, you know, this is a 32 gig kit. It is CL36 though, so it's kind of like meh. But 32 gig kit that gets RMA'd, like free RAM. I found that in a box over here. I was like, oh yeah, that was supposed to go back to G.Skill. $130 or 100. Technically, the value today is like $140 just sitting there. What am I even doing? I don't know. I can't keep up with everything. I can't even look at a box apparently and verify that it's a 2 terabyte and not a 1 terabyte SSD. Any chance of trying the new Battlefield 6 on stream? The problem, Onera, it would have to be like a Twitch only stream or a Kick only stream. Because as soon as you start streaming different content on YouTube, it like absolutely ruins your algorithm. The algo is real. So you can't just change your content. You gotta stick to the same content. So either I have to create a new channel and call it Ben Games or something like that, and do it that way, or I just do like a Twitch only stream, which I don't really care about Twitch or Kick. I'm more worried about interrupting the algorithm on YouTube. So it wouldn't be on YouTube, it'd be on Twitch or Kick. But yes, I could do something like that. I just don't own Battlefield 6 yet. I haven't played it yet. I've never opened it yet. Still don't own it. I'm in Twitch right now. I know you are. It would work for you, but any of the YouTube folks would not be able to see it unless they went over to Twitch. This is the way I see it. They discontinued DDR4 to raise DDR5 prices. Yeah, pretty much. Just in time. You can't get DDR4 anymore, so we're gonna raise your DDR5 price. No, that's not what they did. And then we're gonna blame it on AI. The thing is AI makes them more money, so why wouldn't they do it that way? Oh, showing your builds play new titles would be a great ad idea. Yeah, but watching Ben play, not great gameplay for ads. Oh, look, it's another bot. Oh no, that's just Ben's gameplay. That was scary. I'm actually gonna pull it and double verify. We're good. Like, I don't know, I'm just having that. I'm having one of those days, guys. But it's okay. It survived. I was gonna be like, wow, this is the first time I ever screwed up a CPU install live on stream. After almost 1,000 builds on stream. Yeah, it's just one of those days, you know, where you find out your 2 terabyte SSD for this build is actually a 1 terabyte SSD. And then you go verify and it's... You actually ordered a 2 terabyte, but you just received a 1. Why? There's RAM and a GPU too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is. So I bet that'll go up too. No more hardware issues, only skill issues from here on out. What are you talking about? What are you saying, some giant idiot? Oh, showing your builds. Yeah. Oh, okay, I see. Everyone thinks 5,000 Super are going to be cheap, or at the same price as the 5,000 OGs. Rude Awakening coming. Yes. Call it the Awakening. When you find out nothing is as it seems. Hardware showcase ad with the with that caption. Gotcha. No more hardware issues, only, well, I mean, maybe I do have some skill issues. And maybe I do have some skill issues with the hardware. Yeah, but it's GDDR7 and 6, so yeah, it's different, but it's going to be an excuse for them to raise the price, so you know they're going to do it. Oh, yeah, DDR in general, the word DDR, which means GDDR. It's the same because DDR, DDR, it's all in there. So we raise our prices. You know they're going to do it. This is, ow, me getting zapped, but this is a micro ATX dual chamber case. And it's actually, in my opinion, one of the nicer ones. I'm not going to remove that. That looks like a pain in the butt. Can be removed. There's just 2 screws on that side and 2 screws on this side to do it. So I'm not going to do that. I am, however, going to remove this. We're also going to remove these fans. You know what? We're going to run these fans. We'll keep these and we'll just install 2 bottom ones. They're not bad. The only reason why is because the Why can't peels be like this all the time? Wow. Those all out of there. Price gouging is capitalism. You don't have to buy it. I know. But I do have to buy it. I have a problem. Got it. That wasn't a tight fit at all. Buyers create the price. The more you buy, the more you save. Exactly. Remember that you don't have to buy it, but GTA 6 is coming out, and there are people willing to spend $250 for it. Hell, they'd spend $500 for it. So it'll raise the price. Oh yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if GTA 6 came out as a subscription. And then as soon as you stop paying, you lose your account, and then you have to start over. Not the biggest fan of the overhang, but this is one of the few cases that is a micro ATX dual chamber that has the bottom slots, and it's still tall enough to fit an AIO in there, which I'm hoping will fit now that I'm looking at it. It's gonna be pretty close. Exactly. You buy the new GPU and run GTA 6. We got all that in there. All our front panel connectors in. So we can drop in our bottom fans fairly quick. NVIDIA is worth more than... Oh, didn't know that. Buying a new GPU is saving money. That's what Jensen said. So next year. Yeah, I mean, they are the leaders powering AI. So I feel like more and more money is going to go towards that. So I wouldn't be surprised next year the AI market doubles. I will say this, if GTA 6 comes out at $69, I would pay that. It's the only game I would pay $69 for, except for Half-Life 3. I would pay $89 for. Yeah, I hear ya. Half-Life is... it's one of those titles you have to buy. Especially if you're an OG gamer. All right, let's find out if a cooler's gonna fit in here. The frozen note. You're probably right on that one, Steve. What did Steve say? But we all know GTA 6 is, yeah. It's not going to be $69 standard edition. It's going to be $99 with deluxe version of $129, collector series $249, and then updated content packages monthly or weekly for like $25.99. Yeah, Steve, you're probably right. Christmas, I don't see a lot of improvement in games from 2016 till now. That's because it's been, everybody made their name, and now their passion is no longer there, so the games have been just a money grab. What can we keep making that keeps making money? To keep making money, to keep making the same thing to make money, keep making the same thing. So, for example, Call of Duty. The original Call of Duty. That was like a drive by that team. I think it was Infinity Ward or Infinite Ward. They put together Call of Duty with, I think, some of the guys that were actually on the Medal of Honor team, Allied Assault. And they were driving to make the best, they changed the first-person shooter with that game. Call of Duty, the original Call of Duty. And then multiplayer for that changed how we play first-person shooter multiplayer. But there were guys on that team that were passionate about achieving that goal. Like, we're going to make history here. But nobody talks about that. But they did. They made history. But my point is, there's no more of that. There's no, hey, we need to make the best possible first-person shooter. Instead, it's all, hey, will this make us money? And if your answer is no, then what's going to happen? I think the closest thing to like a awesome title was Hogwarts recently, and maybe Cyberpunk. That was one that was actually developed to like make a leap towards the next genre of game. But it wasn't as significant as a leap as it was for when Call of Duty, the original, came out, versus everything that we played before. It was like jaw-dropping. A jaw-dropping experience, like, oh my gosh, I can't stop playing this. So, my point is I haven't come across a game that I simply cannot stop playing. Every game out today, I can just be like, nah, I feel like going and doing something else, I'm bored. Move on. Does not capture my attention like Call of Duty 1. Which, by the way, if you guys still want to play Call of Duty 1 multiplayer, that's still a live thing. Still around. If you guys want to see it, I'll show it to you sometime in Discord. Old school grandpa first-person shooter game. We invented the tea bag. Just saying. Absolutely. I can't make them. The cooler is not going to fit. Properly. Simply, the motherboard is too thick. Big VRM heat sink is too big. How in the F? I've used this case before. Several times. What did I do different? Yeah, I'd give up today. One thing after another. All day today. I've used this case before. This cooler won't fit because of this massive chunk of metal from Gigabyte over the VRMs, which is nice. Nice to have to cool your VRM. But doesn't bode well in this case. I must have used the MSI Pro or the Asus Prime board previously on these builds, because that would be the only two boards that I could think that would fit in this situation. This sucks. Let me go find one. Sounds good, Tony. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Steve, 210, a 2 gigabyte card would probably play that game. Any of my GPU's max engine out at 200 FPS. New case or new air cooler? I ordered a new case because that's the Quantum Prime. Top-mounted AIO. I don't know. I don't know how this build could be so cursed. Cooler won't fit. Power supply didn't show up. Still missing in limbo. I had to order a second one, and then the 2 terabyte SSD shows up as a 1 terabyte SSD, and now the cooler, of course, won't fit because of the motherboard VRM. Good choice. Yeah. So, new case will be here tomorrow. Just means I gotta undo everything I just did here. Oh, for the love of all that is mighty. Genesis, this build is cursed. But we will get it right. The cursed build. That's the name of this build. I'm sorry. But every possible thing that could go the wrong way has gone the wrong way. So, we're not finishing this one tonight. And I am so upset. I'm beyond done. Ah. How could a build go so bad? I don't think I've had a build go this bad in a long time. I always rely on my expertise, my knowledge, my experience, and somehow I screwed up big time. It's on me. So, there we have it. I think the conclusion is Ben just needs more sleep. And to start double verifying everything. I'm more disappointed in myself. Wick fam, wouldn't be Halloween build night without a few curses. This is the cursed build. Power supply missing. Still in limbo. 2 terabyte SSD shows up as a 1 terabyte SSD, and then, of course, you go to try to put the cooler in, and because of the big VRM on this board, because I don't typically use this board in this build, I usually use like an Asus Prime, but this big VRM is in the way and won't allow me to mount the cooler. I could take this cooler and mount it on the side, but that is not the design of the Quantum Prime. The Quantum Prime has airflow coming in from the side, intake airflow on the bottom, and then exhaust on the rear, exhaust on the top. So, in order for me to make this a Quantum Prime, I need a different case for this board. Or I could swap out the motherboard, but I think the right move is to get the slightly bigger version of this case. So, new case will be here tomorrow. Okay, well, with that being said, I'll set this aside and deal with it tomorrow. And or Sunday. Probably Sunday at this point. Because of all the stuff I got going on. We'll move on to the other build house. This is a $550, or no, I'm sorry, $500 build. So, we have a MSI B550M VDH Wi-Fi, Ryzen 5 4500, a pack of 32 gigs of DDR4 before it bounced in price, insanely, a 216 gig 6, a 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe by KingSpec, an Assassin X120 refined ARGB, a 500 watt 80 plus bronze, along with a used 5700X graphics card, which looks like it maybe could use a little bit of cleaning, but doesn't look too bad. So, this is the second build. I actually don't know the kid's name. Crap. The best. But it is for a birthday boy. It would be Jessica's son. So I'm just going to put Jessica in here. His birthday was actually on Sunday. This was the build that I was trying to do a while ago that started the whole Micro Center crap, because I had a really tight budget. And I was almost able to get him an RX 6600 paired with a Ryzen 5 5500 and a ASRock B550 Phantom Gaming 4 AC motherboard. And then the rest would have been the same parts, pretty much. And then I was going to give him a case. So it would have been a lot better of a build. But Micro Center decided to tell me I cannot buy an open box processor because I've already bought an AMD processor that month. So that's where all the salt started with Micro Center. If you were wondering, it was for this build. And then that, of course, delayed the build because then I had to source parts and rethink everything, and because I literally was there to buy it and they wouldn't let me. They're like, nope. I'm like, not even, it's an open box processor, what does it matter? It's literally going to be sold to whoever buys it at the same price, no matter what. Nope. So, but this is the best I could do for a $500 budget, is a 5700 XT and a Ryzen 5 4500 and a B550M, 32 gigs of RAM, and a 1 terabyte SSD. And then, of course, it's just a small micro ATX case that we're going to be going into. Yes, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get to the second build, honestly, but since the first one is not going to work out. I'm going to move on to this one. This one should be pretty quick. And Genesis, I apologize. I can't seem to get your build right. But we'll get it right. We'll circle back on Monday, have it ready for you. Basically, Monday is going to be do or die, or Sunday is going to be do or die Sunday night. Finish the build or die. That is pretty much going to be my motto going into this Sunday. I did consider the $20 difference for this build by using the stock cooler, but I hate using the stock. This will probably be one of the last few aim for builds you'll see me do. Oh, I take that back. I got a couple more budget-friendly builds that we have planned for inventory I have on hand. But those will probably be the last. This 32 gig kit was on Amazon for $54. And I was very impressed. Not sure if you can see that or not. Probably not. It is not a known brand name, but all the hardware checks out when I looked it up. So basically a team group kit is what it comes down to. Or if you've ever purchased Oloy RAM, basically that. And this is a King spec. And I've used King spec before. From the NX series. Like my go-to budget SSD. Late start? What's Max doing? Yeah, it's a late start. Max is down here sleeping. He's probably halfway to Zealand. Now, normally, I'm in bed by now. And he's usually right there with me. Wow, this thing's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. Holy smokes. First time I've ever built in this case before. But I think it's like $49 on Amazon. So it's very short. I didn't realize how short it was. Actually curious. Didn't even think of this, but will the GPU fit? Don't remember the last time I had to worry about that. Oh my gosh, it's gonna just fit. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be tight. The backside's gonna be tight too. Cheap cases, you know. What an adventure. I don't even know the name of this case. It's called, here guys. I'll show you the box. Luxurious mid-tower case, or gaming case. Micro ATX, mini ATX compatibility. Comes with 3 fans. Luxurious. We'll see if it lives up to its name. That's what she said. Ever visited the place where a video game took place? No, I actually haven't. Does the GPU gonna? Yes, the GPU will fit. Barely. That was the first thing that came out of my mind too. I was like, time to bust out the old. Yeah, we'll Dremel out the glass, the front glass. We'll Dremel that out. Oh my gosh. I mean, at least it has USB 3. Gotta give them that. And we have all the hardware. So that's impressive. But I mean, when you're doing a $500 gaming PC build, you gotta cut somewhere to make it work. I didn't realize it was this small, to be honest. Just we're missing 2 studs. It did not include 2 studs. Okay, especially. Oh boy. Right. There. Got him. If that's $500, sign me up. It is. Pretty sure. Thing. Always do this to myself. Gotta put this panel on. Been spoiled by all these newer boards. Now I forget that there's an I/O shield. And because it's a cheap case, you always want to check the back and make sure everything's lined up. Jessica's not in the chat now. The build is actually for Jessica's son, not for Jessica. And Jessica's son is a young lad So he won't be playing anything too crazy on here, I don't think. Maybe I think Fortnite, I think, was the heaviest lifting title she mentioned, so I think this will do okay. What's with these companies using these damn deals on these fans? I don't feel any on the backside. Okay. Well, that'll be a problem. Hey guys, our USB 3 is right there. Check this out. Oh yeah. You guys. I mean, this is going great. It's this type of day. So, I don't know if you can see our USB 3 is right there. Oh, come on. Not gonna want to like focus on the glass. But our USB 3 is right there, and yes, we're probably gonna have to get the Dremel out. Our case lip for cable management is right over the top of it. So, didn't foresee that one either. So we're probably just not gonna have USB 3. It looks like USB-C runs through USB 3. Which is funny because this board even has a USB-C header. But the case has USB-C, USB 3, USB 2. But only has a USB 3.0 header. And a USB 2.0 header. I've never seen that before. Yeah, it's totally blocked. It's 100%. Just rest in peace. Squeeze took temps down by 10C. What took temps down? I like stacking the rear fans until it touches the CPU cooler. Yes. Yeah, so you want me to put more fans right here, between here and here? Lowers the temperatures. It's 1 a.m., bro. I'm gonna go get some sleep. I don't blame you. I'm about ready to say I'm done too. No USB-C or 3 on the front panel is basically where we're at. Moving on. Not gonna deal with it. Thanks for joining us. Like a shroud. Oh, yeah. Well, that's because it's just funneling the heat directly out of the case. It's kind of what an AIO does, believe it or not. An AIO will funnel the heat directly out of the case. But yes, that would help. All kind of issues with budget cases, Satage. Oh yeah. You're always going to have issues anytime you're doing a budget build. You're going to run into these types of issues all the time. Nice. If I pull that, I have to just undo this bundle of joy just to make the cables flat enough to close the back panel. I don't even know what to do with that. It's so bad. So tangled and bundled there. Alright. Done screwed around with that. Let's put a power supply in here. My first build when I was 11, genuinely don't know how I booted it first try. Nice. Mine didn't boot the first time I built. That was also back with DDR. Like, the original DDR. The things were a little bit more finicky back then. Oh, you have got. Forgot to plug in this stuff at the bottom. I was so hyper focused on everything else. Woo! Okay. Sometimes I like to do this to myself. Just to remind myself why I don't skimp out on cases. Like a reminder. This is why you don't build in cheap cases. Okay. Still haven't cut myself on it yet, though. Well, anyways, that board is amazing, good for the price. It has 6 USB plugs on the back. More than enough. Yeah, I know. It'll make up for it, but disappointing. Okay, now let's see if the GPU is going to fit in here. My first pre-built was DDR2, used it until 2020. What GPU is going in? It's a 5700 XT. What is the Discord invite as a link? It's a link that will take you to our Discord channel so you could join the Discord. But this is a ASRock Phantom Gaming used 5700 XT. But again, $500 budget means we skimp out somewhere, which is the case. And the big question is does the GPU actually fit? The answer is yes. With a lot of finagling, the GPU will fit. One piece. And we're gonna have to daisy chain. Also, wonderful. Not something I recommend doing. But for the budget, didn't really have a choice. This is probably the best bang for your buck graphics card within this price point. There's like a bazillion of them available. I hate the fact that we're using pigtail, but don't got a choice. I'm not even going to button this up because this panel needs to close. And these cables might need to move a little bit for this panel to close. That's how thin of a gap we have out here. I need these to be able to move a little bit so that the panel can close. I'm actually worried another cheap case problem. I need a new power supply, 700 watts or more. What are you trying to run that needs 700 watts or more? I'm not convinced that back panel's closed. Man. Anybody needed a reminder, here's your reminder, but when it's all done, it actually doesn't look too bad. You know what? Screw this thing. Don't want it on there anyway. Well, here's to hoping that the post how tiny it is in comparison to all the other ones. What do you guys think? You think this $500 budget build is gonna fire right up with a used graphics card? I'm an overclocker, so the GTX 1060 will now use 220 watts. The CPU used 229 watts since I removed the 35 watt TDP. That's 440 watts, not even including the motherboard that can use up to 180 watts. My current PSU is a 430 watt. Oh yeah, you're definitely going to need more power. If you're at 430 and you're going to be running 440, you don't really want to push it over. Like my rule is like 50 watts. That's like the ceiling. So 50 watts less than what it's rated for. Usually what I say. All right, here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1. Let's see what it does. Looks pretty cool. $500 can build this today. This is a Ryzen 5 4500 on a B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi MSI motherboard with 32 gigs DDR4, 3200 megahertz CL16, two 16 gig sticks, and then a RX 5700 XT, which is ASRock Phantom Gaming edition used. The graphics card is the only thing that's used in here, and then a very cheap micro ATX case from Amazon. I think I paid like 49 bucks for the case. 1 terabyte SSD Gen 3, and then a 500 watt 80 plus bronze power supply. Got a green keyboard light, but no video. We have a boot light on the motherboard, so it should be displaying. Plus, of course, the used graphics card is shot, which very well could be. Wouldn't surprise me. With how today's gone, would not surprise me. I got my PC for 80 pounds. My GPU overclocked makes it equivalent to a 3050. Nice. Very nice. 6 gig 3050. And I think the RTI or the GTX 1060 is that's GDDR5, right? Versus GDDR6, so there is a bandwidth difference there, isn't there? Yeah, we're not getting any display, guys. Beep. So the used gamble on that 5700 XT didn't work out, but that's okay. I have a backup option. I originally purchased this one for this build, and I was like, I could just go pick one up locally used. And the locally used one was a terrible idea. So, apparently, that doesn't work. Ow. For all I know, it's just not enough power in this 500 watt power supply to power this thing. But for basic post display, I think it would work. to get it this quickly. How do I get it out? Nope. Man. Oh, how much fun we're having tonight. So this is also a used card, but I actually purchased it on eBay. And of course, the seller had great ratings. But this is a XFX. Holy crap, I'm tired. Raw 2 5700 XT. The beefy looking card too. Also used, like I said. Could use a little bit of a cleanup. Ah, crap. I don't know we're gonna get this one in there. Could probably clean this one up and check the thermal paste on it. I'm just going to put it in there and see if we can get it to fire up in post. But this is the fun you have when you do budget builds. And it posted. So probably something wrong with that other card, which sucks because that's cost me 135 bucks. Gamble. Oh no, I'm not doing another one after this. This is it for the night. I don't think I could handle another build. Isn't the front panel removable? Yes, the front panel would be removable. It's just a very big pain in the butt to remove it on this case. Don't recommend doing that if you can avoid it. But there we have it. A posted gaming PC. I just have to figure out if it was power or if it's a shot card. So we'll probably test that on the test bench to figure that out. I'll probably hit up the seller and just let him know, hey, card didn't work. See what he does. Probably won't do anything, but that's okay. There we have it, our $500 budget build for Jessica, Jessica's son. His birthday gift has been built. I am going to probably take that card back out and give it a clean because it was pretty dusty. After 1 a.m. in Michigan, yes, it's 1:11 a.m. It is well past my bedtime. I went late. I wanted to get these two builds done. We at least got the one done. The other one didn't make it because of the cooler case clearance and also the 2 terabyte / 1 terabyte SSD debacle. And that build is just cursed at this point. So, yeah, this will be it for the weekend, guys. Leading into the weekend, tomorrow we got trick-or-treating, so I won't be available to stream tomorrow. And then over the weekend, I'll be out of town because I have a wedding, family member, cousin, who's getting married. But they're on the other side of the state, so we have to travel to the other side of the state to get to the wedding. So we'll probably leave tomorrow night, late in the night, drive through the night, make it out there somewhere around 2 a.m., sleep, and then wake up and then go to the wedding, come back to the hotel, sleep, and then drive back on Sunday morning. And then, so yeah, we'll probably be back live streaming Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday we'll be back live streaming another build. Probably, I'm going to finish up that other build probably off stream. Build number 110, the one that we tried to do earlier. Safe travels, thank you. So, I will have the weekend off for driving. That's it, guys. If you guys want to join the Discord and hang out with me while I'm not live or ask questions, you're more than welcome to join on the Discord channel, which is, if you're looking for the link, !Discord in the chat. It'll spit out the link to Discord. And then it's a great place to hang out. Tons of people hang out there and talk about parts, hardware, and ask questions around stuff. Good place to ask questions. Easiest way for me to answer them for you, especially when I'm not live. So, but with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I am shot. I am burnt out. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you back on Monday or Tuesday next week. Have a good night, guys. Have a good weekend. Happy Halloween.